Chalk provides variety of uses, most commonly in the classroom settings. Furthermore, the group opted to create a product that is commercially beneficial to the customers, not just for academic purposes, but also in construction use such as markings and measuring tools. The group also made a product that is safe for the kids to use. Good day everyone, we are the Group 3 and we are about to present our project entitled Improvised Eggshell Chalk. The reporters are Aiden Capachate, Marie Hazel Asenjo, Mary Rose Umbay, Kristen Sanchez, Ralph Zamaras, and yours truly, Charlie Villanueva.
Okay, so first is the introduction. So we all know that chalk is an essential tool that is widely used for writing purposes in our classroom-based setup. So especially for schools who are still using and are still engaged in the traditional way of teaching. So using commercialized chalk as a fine way material and powdery dust, which are one of the things that causes irritation, allergy, and other chronic exposure to lungs. And chalk is also the primarily used for construction measuring tools and engineering tasks to ensure precise measurement on smooth surfaces. Because chalk is mainly made from calcium carbonate, which originated from limestone. So it is typically located in marine life, where its natural resources are limited only to consumers. So since we can't secure a long-term production of marine life, hence we offer a better alternative production of chalks using only the natural resource and product waste. So as this product provides more safety and environmentally friendly byproduct to the consumers. So the resources what I am talking about is the eggshell and the cassava plant. So first is the eggshell. An eggshell is its exterior and tough covering of the egg. So this raw material notably has an approach of being extremely brittle and is prone to cracking just like the other commercialized chalk. So the main component of eggshell is calcium carbonate, so which normally contributes between 94 to 97% in the form of calcite, where they become the essential component in producing chalk. So the second one is the cassava. So it is the most significant starch source in the world. So the flour made from the cassava plant is referred to as tapioca flour in international trade due to its low level of non-carbohydrate components. Also, using cassava has alternative production of starch that will provide good binding and strong pigments to the disseminated structure of the product. So since it is an elastic gluten framework, which lessens breakage and outbreaks. So we aim to demonstrate non-toxic products that are organically created through studies using natural resources and may be incorporated into daily life without risking people's health in order to create a new and improved structure for chalk as well as to address the growing financial issues facing instructors who use chalk. So it seeks to enhance the nation's market production of chalk and ongoing economic condition. So the next is the objectives. So the primary objective of this project is to come up with a plan, build and manufacture 20 pieces of good quality eggshell chalks. So the project must be completed within the allocated budget, which covers the design, development, tools, and production expenses. Also, this product should not produce excessive noise when used. So it shouldn't be easily broken and be simple to erase. And also, it shouldn't generate a lot of dust when used and must not cause health related issues such as skin irritations and asthma.
So, the project budget breakdown. The project budget breakdown for making chalk using eggshells entails a comprehensive analysis and categorization of the estimated costs associated with the entire process. This breakdown involves examining the various elements involved in the production of chalk, specifically utilizing eggshells as a key ingredient. The project budget represents the estimated cost required to complete our project successfully. It encompasses various materials including cassava, coloring, parchment paper, molding, and milling process. Our goal is to meet project requirements while maintaining financial control. In this project, we conducted 6 trials to successfully get the goal of our job. So for the first trial, the estimated cost is 280.93 pesos. For the second trial, it costs 101.53 pesos. For the third trial, 20 pesos. In the fourth trial, 0. In fifth and sixth trial, 62.13 and 290.33 pesos. So for the travel cost is 120 pesos. So for the overall, it costs 875 pesos.
One of the major goals of the group is to have a product that is as much as possible composed of mostly composite material. However, during production trials made by the group, the mixture that is close enough to the standard created by the group composed of 70% composite and 30% non-composite. The reason for this material balancing is that the amount of non-composite materials holds consistency, binding, and thickening of the output. It holds the materials intact to achieve one of the standards. On the first trial, the group tried to make a mixture in which it held 95% composite materials as suggested. However, due to lack of consistency, the output was powdery and did not hold its size. The second trial was also a failure. Even though it holds the shape and structure, its durability is still not acceptable. The third and the fourth trial, although it can pass in terms of structure and durability, it still had lots of residues when used. On the fifth trial, some of the standards are achieved, such as writing visibility. However, the group wanted to improve it more. On the last trial, which is the 70% composite and 13% uncomposite, made by the group, almost all the standards created by the group are achieved. However, some improvements are needed in order to achieve a better outcome. Further details are explained in the recommendation.
Tackle about the methods and processes of the actual chalk. So there are various steps for making the chalk described in this slide. So in the manual process, the mixing, lubricating, filling, removing, and collection of the chalk is done by manual means. So there are two sub-process and one main process in the production of the eggshell chalk. So first, we're going to discuss the eggshell preparation. So first, we need to wash and dry the eggshells. If you can remove the thin membrane from the inside of the eggshell. So after that, dry it out from the sunlight. Next, after drying, crush the eggshell as fine as you can using food processor so that you can have a refined crushed eggshell. So before you have the refined crushed eggshell, you need to strain it in order to separate the large particles and the smaller particles of the crushed eggshell. After that, set aside to a container. Next slide, please. After harvesting, remove any soil clinging to the skin of the cassava roots from before peeling. So the freshly harvested roots needed to be thoroughly peeled. So the skin is actually 2 millimeters and tough and can be often readily separated as long as you actually peel the skin itself. So the skin needed to be disregarded. However, it can be used in compost pit. So next is grating. So grating on the once the roots have been peeled and cleaned, they need to be grated. You can do this with a standard kitchen grater or an electric food processor. In our case, we use a standard kitchen grater. So the finer you grate the roots, the better for several reasons. So those are two reasons. So firstly, the smaller and the finer the grated pieces are, the more surface area you've created, which contact with the air will oxidize and help you break down the prussic acid or the toxins. Secondly, finer particles will dry faster. The clean cassava, we tend to keep and soak the grated cassava into the water and immerse it, while others batch are grinding. So we use food processor in order to smash thoroughly the grated cassava. So in that case, we need to keep in check water. Those excess water will form into cassava flour or cassava starch that will be used as our alternative flour. So the next one, after squeezing it out, let the cassava flour submerge and put it together. And after that, after several hours, we need to accumulate the submerged residue from the excess water. So there will be a residue beneath the water, and that will be used as to form a cassava flour. So after we accumulate the residue from the cassava water, we need to whisk the freshly grated cassava into a large clean cloth or tea towel, then tie it to the corners in accordingly dried out. We tend to use food processor in order to have a refined powdery effect of cassava flour. So we tend so after grinding it out using food processor, we used another process, which is sieving, to separate the fiber from the flour. So in order to separate the large particle and the smaller particle of the cassava flour. After that, as we ensure that we gather the refined particles needed in cassava particles of cassava flour, we tend to put it into another container and store it for the next process. Next slide, please. Process of the eggshell chalk production. So first and foremost, we need to prepare all the raw materials such as eggshell, cassava flour, food coloring, water, molder, and oil. Those are the raw materials needed for our production. Next is the powdered eggshell preparation and cassava flour preparation was tackled in the previous slide, so we're not gonna tackle it out again. Previous processes, we tend to mix 1 teaspoon of cassava flour, and 1 teaspoon of hot water in a small bowl. Mix it until it will be form a paste. After that, add 1 tablespoon of eggshell powder to your paste. The uniform paste is formed according to required quantity. For example, we opted to use this formulation: 1 teaspoon of cassava flour, 7 to 8 teaspoon of hot water, and 1 tablespoon of eggshell powder. So various colors are added if you want to manufacture colored chalks in mixing the process. So mix. After doing that, mix until everything is combined. If you can't press the mixture into a log shape, add a bit more water. Shape the eggshell mixture into a log shape. So there are two methods in drying the chalk. However, we opted to use the drying process using sunlight. So water is then left to solidify in the molder for 5 to 10 minutes. After the chalk began solidified, it is removed from the molder using manual means, like using the syringe. We push through it at the bottom of the mold. After removing the chalks, it is left into a sunlight for at least 1 to 2 days for removing the excess moisture and making the chalk harder and finer. After that, after completing the above process, it is tested for strength and smoothness in writing. It is done with the help of various techniques and testing techniques to check whether the chalks are according to the required features. After that, the chalks are then packed into a box according to the number of pieces. Since we made at 20 pieces, the box may contain 20 pieces. Also, the other packaging and branding details are mentioned in the above outer layer of the box. So the proper composition of the mixture is required every time for an even chalk making.
In making improvised eggshell chalk, our group encountered challenges. So, these are the problems encountered during the process. First one is bad weather conditions. The group had planned to conduct the drying process outdoors. Bad weather such as rain, strong winds, or extreme temperatures can disrupt or delay the activity. It may be challenging to set up equipment, handle the materials, or ensure the drying process is effective in unfavorable weather conditions. The second one is composite materials odor. The composite material, specifically the chalk, emits an unpleasant odor. The third one is grinding process. Eggshells are relatively hard and can be challenging to grind into a fine powder. It may require using heavy-duty grinder or mortar. Insufficient grinding can result in coarse particles in the chalk mixture, affecting its texture and quality. The last one is no reference for exact material balancing. The group has difficulties in making the product because we do not have enough references for making the process.
Recommendation. So based on the project making, in order to enhance the qualities of the project and in order to provide further references for future researchers, the following recommendations are formulated. First is to improve the production waste management. So the team needs to improve the production waste management in making eggshell chalk to reduce environmental impact and conserve resources. So proper waste management minimizes waste generation, reducing the carbon footprint and contributing to a healthier planet. So the next one is they conduct thorough quality control. So the group that created the actual chalk faced challenges related to the quality of the product, specifically its powder texture and durability. If someone were to undertake a similar project in the future, it is recommended to prioritize improvements in the production processes to address these issues. These could include in finding ways to minimize the chalk's tendency to become powdery during use and exploring methods to enhance its durability and longevity. So the third one is improved product odor. So when developing eggshell chalk or any other composite material, it is important to consider not only its functional properties, but also its sensory characteristics such as odor. To improve the overall experience of using the product, future developers may want to explore methods for reducing or eliminating any unpleasant odors associated with the composite materials used in the chalk. So the fourth one is equipment improvement. So improving the equipment used in making actual chalk offers advantages such as increased production efficiency, improved product quality, enhanced worker safety, and potential cost savings. It allows the team to stay competitive, meet market demands, and operate with greater efficiency and effectiveness. So the last one is physical appearance improvement. So improving the physical appearance of the actual chalk is crucial for attracting customers, conveying quality and professionalism, and enhancing the overall user experience. By investing in visual enhancement, the team can increase sales, build a strong brand presence, and cultivate customer loyalty in the competitive market. So, lesson learned. During the production phase, this team encountered numerous errors that initially posed significant challenges and demoralized the team members. However, the team exhibited resilience and a growth mindset, firmly believing that every failure or mistake along the way serves as a stepping stone towards achieving a successful output. So, lesson learned offer a potent way to exchange ideas for enhancing operations, quality, safety, cost effectiveness, and etc., and help managers make better decisions and workers perform better through throughout every stage of a project.
Right. That ends our discussion. Next slide will be our references and documentation during the production of our project. Thank you and have a nice day.